Welcome back to the channel, Cosmic Core, and welcome everyone new to the channel. We hope you had an opportunity to see parts 1 and 2 of our 3-part Battlestar Galactica Then and Now series. And if you haven't had a chance to see the first 2 videos, fear not, I've posted the links for the first 2 videos in the description below. Now, if you have never seen anything Battlestar Galactica ever, there are spoilers ahead. So, we are going to round out our series today with where Battlestar Galactica started, where it has gone, and where it is yet to go with Part 3, the conclusion of our retrospective. And, as always, if you enjoy our videos, please be sure to drop a like and share the video. And if you would like to support our channel further, please be sure to subscribe. It's one click for you, but it means the world to us. Now, let's get Part 3 started and rejoin our ragtag fugitive fleet. The Battlestar Galactica reboot took risks in storytelling, production, and visuals. It followed a group of humans searching for a lost, mythical colony while dealing with the aftermath of a war against the Cylons. The series embraced dated technology while focusing on progressive storylines and themes. It addressed serious issues like politics, war, identity, and religion without idealizing them, creating a darker and more urgent tone. The original Battlestar Galactica was heavily influenced by the original Star Wars movie, featuring an adventurous and swashbuckling tone, and differed from shows that had come before it like the original Star Trek. In contrast, the Sci-Fi Network reboot had a more serious format, following a continuous storyline focusing on the struggle to survive and escape Cylon oppression. The reboot of Battlestar Galactica featured a serialized storytelling format with a darker and more serious tone. It explored themes of extremism, fundamentalism, and the loss of civil liberties in the face of rising terrorism, drawing inspiration from real-world events like 9/11 and the War on Terror. This shift in focus differentiated it from the original series, which drew its influence from the success of George Lucas's Star Wars. In the new Battlestar Galactica, the portrayal of the good guys was not entirely benevolent. The humans sometimes resorted to tactics resembling suicide bombings to fight the Cylons, blurring the lines between good and bad. This moral ambiguity was highlighted by the series' distinctive New Age score, which contributed to its darker and introspective tone. Without a doubt, the original Battlestar Galactica theme is instantly recognizable. The original theme, called the Colonial Anthem, was composed by Stu Phillips and is iconic and easily identifiable. It is a bright orchestral piece similar to Star Wars and composed in 1978 by Phillips, who had a successful background in creating music for television and film. The reboot of Battlestar Galactica pays tribute to the original series by incorporating the iconic Colonial Anthem into its soundtrack. The composer of the theme for the reboot, Bear McCreary, adapted the original theme for the newer series, giving it a modern twist with heavier undertones. The music is subtly woven into the reboot series, evoking nostalgia for fans of the original series, as it appears in key moments, like Commander Adama watching a Viper squadron fly by during the decommissioning ceremony of the Galactica in the miniseries. Even though the original series didn't run for long, the hours and hours of soundtrack music composed by Phillips, successfully conjuring up the immensity of space, has remained popular with enthusiasts ever since. The music of the 2004 Battlestar Galactica is primarily composed by Bear McCreary and Richard Gibbs, and features a unique blend of ethnic influences and percussion-heavy style, different from the traditional orchestral scores. The score incorporates the technique of leitmotif, using musical themes to represent characters, places, and other story elements. While originally not planned, the development and use of leitmotifs became a significant and effective aspect of the music in the series. Another interesting aspect of the new theme for Battlestar Galactica is the use of vocals, potentially in the Sanskrit language or a fictional language developed for the show called Pythian. Different sources offer varying interpretations, with some suggesting the spiritual significance of the lyrics, aiming to establish a connection with a higher power for guidance and wisdom. Further clarification on what the exact language is, made up or not, would be interesting to know. If you know the answer to that question, please be sure to leave a comment. I would love to know the answer to that. The original series creator, Glenn A. Larson, incorporated themes of Mormon teachings into the show, noticeable to those familiar with the Mormon faith, while to the untrained eye, like mine, the humans of the colonies in the series may appear to draw inspiration from ancient Greek religions with names like Apollo and Athena. There are also elements hinting at ancient Egyptian influence, as seen in the design of the original Viper pilot helmets, and lest we forget the pyramids on the ancient planet of Cobol. In 1983, BYU professor James E. Ford wrote the first academic article linking Mormon theology to Battlestar Galactica. He highlighted similarities such as the usage of the name of the star Kolob, which in Mormonism is the star nearest unto the throne of God. In the show, we all know that star to be the planet Cobol, drawing a direct connection to the Latter-day Saints' beliefs. Additionally, the marriage ceremonies in the show were reminiscent of LDS sealing rituals, even though they were portrayed in a public setting rather than in a temple. In the Battlestar Galactica episodes Experiment in Terra and War of the Gods, there are references to concepts that have similarities to Mormon beliefs. In Experiment in Terra, the idea of intelligence being connected to the spirit is mentioned, which aligns with Mormon teachings. In War of the Gods, the phrase, "As you are now, we once were. As we are now, you may become." That is reminiscent of a teaching by Lorenzo Snow, the fifth president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who served in that capacity from 1898 until his death in 1901. In these two episodes, more overt references to Mormon and other Judeo-Christian beliefs are introduced, such as the introduction of the character of Count Ebly, potentially representing the personification of evil akin to the devil in Judeo-Christian faiths, and adding a sinister element to the series. Additionally, the new allies in the form of the beings from the Ship of Light are introduced, establishing a metaphysical foundation for the story arc. Count Ebly, played brilliantly by Patrick McNee in the original series, delves deeper into religious themes of the show. An intriguing connection is made between Count Ebly and the origin of the Cylon Imperious leader. In the episode War of the Gods Part 2, Baltar identifies Count Ebly's voice as that of the Imperious leader, to which Ebly suggests he would need to be 1,000 yarans old for that to be true. This hints at the devil, embodied by Count Ebly, potentially having a role in creating the Cylons.
Nice shooting!
While the Battlestar Galactica never reached Earth during its original 1978 season run, its sequel show, Galactica 1980, did see the Galactica reach Earth roughly 30 years after the events of the original series. Despite its strong ratings and dedicated fan base, guys like me, ABC's decision to cancel Battlestar Galactica after one season was met with such disappointment. The show's high production cost, especially compared to other ABC series at the time, posed a challenge for both the network and Universal Studios. Unlike in the modern era with advanced SFX technology allowing for more cost-effective production, the late 70s and early 80s lacked such solutions, making it difficult to sustain the show financially. Despite efforts by ABC to continue the Galactica franchise and its mythos on a budget with original series creator Glenn Larson involved, the spin-off series Galactica 1980 fell far short of expectations. The plot involving the Galactica arriving at Earth had so much potential, but the end result was disappointing for both the creators of the show and the fans. The series Galactica 1980 starts with a three-part episode called Galactica Discovers Earth, in which Commander Adama announces that the Galactica's arrival at Earth after a 30-year journey. However, wait a minute, the celebrations are short-lived, as the Cylons have also followed the Galactica to Earth. While Galactica 1980 had many weaknesses, by far the greatest weakness came in the form of the promotion of the show. Of all things, right? The promotion. Promotional materials for Galactica 1980 created high expectations by suggesting the Cylons were attacking Earth with footage of a Cylon attack on Los Angeles. My personal thought is this would have been a much stronger story for the show to follow. However, this turned out to be a simulation on the show, which prompted Commander Adama's warning against landing on Earth to avoid bringing destruction. With probably the best line that show delivered, Commander Adama states, "If we land, we will bring destruction upon Earth as surely as if we'd inflicted it ourselves." Now, even with the promotional materials considered a weakness of the show, the Cylon attack on Los Angeles in Galactica 1980 was a standout moment, with impressive special effects combining footage from another Universal property, the 1974 disaster film Earthquake, to create a compelling sequence that has been regarded as one of the best SFX sequences ever done for television at that time. In Galactica 1980, a new character named Dr. Z is introduced as a child genius who serves as a scientific advisor to the Council. Commander Adama refers to him as a cerebral mutation, and it is Dr. Z that created the simulation of the Cylon attack on Earth to show the potential threat. It seems that Dr. Z's character may have had different origins initially and was later given a retconned backstory in the series. In the beginning, Adama refers to Dr. Z as having been born to us deep in space. But in the episode The Return of Starbuck, that episode shows us that Z was found as an infant, alone aboard a cobbled-together half-Viper, half-Raider ship. Remember that? Remember that ship? That messed-up Viper Raider? That was pretty cool. It seems as if Glenn Larson decided to alter Dr. Z's origin story from what he had originally envisioned. However, Dr. Z's strategy to save humanity from a Cylon attack involves diverting the fleet away from the Earth while sending groups of colonial warriors to make contact with the scientific communities all around the planet. This covert operation aims to prepare humanity to defend against the Cylons. While at the same time, the show introduces us to Commander Xavier, portrayed by Richard Lynch, as a new human villain to the series, following the absence of John Colicos' Baltar from the show. Commander Xavier, he's not pleased with the current plan and proposes a risky plan to Adama about traveling back in time using a time warp synthesizer invented by Dr. Z to accelerate Earth's technological advancement to prepare for the impending Cylon threat. Adama is weary of the dangers of altering the past and opts against the plan. Now, one concept of Galactica 1980 was of new Cylons in the form of humans that were introduced in the episode The Night the Cylons Landed. This concept would later be explored more extensively in Ronald D. Moore's 2003 Battlestar Galactica miniseries. In the Reboot series of Battlestar Galactica, religion remains significant, but with creative differences. References to Mormon theology were minimized, with a more general Judeo-Christian perspective. Humans were depicted akin to the ancient Greek beliefs, and Cylons believing in monotheistic figures. In the Battlestar Galactica Reboot series, religion was portrayed in a more nuanced and complex manner compared to the original show. The show's exploration of religious and spiritual themes diverged from traditional portrayals, which led to a divisive reception among fans, especially in the show's finale. In an interview with BeliefNet, Ronald D. Moore discussed his approach to religion in the Battlestar Galactica series, viewing the original show's mythology as a global concept. Where Glenn Larson had incorporated Mormon influence into the colonial religious beliefs, Moore transformed that into a mix of Greek and Roman mythology. Additionally, the Cylons, following a monotheistic religion with Judeo-Christian elements, was evidenced by references to love as a divine attribute in the series. The best example of this starts right away in the miniseries pilot, when the number 6 humanoid Cylon, played by Tricia Helfer, says, "God is love." This is a reference to the biblical passage, chapter 4, verse 16 of the first epistle of John. Also, the series featured 2 messianic characters. Colonial President Laura Roslin, played by Mary McConnell, fulfilled the prophecy of a dying leader who would lead her people to Earth, offering physical salvation. On the other hand, Gaius Baltar, initially an atheist, embraced the Cylons' monotheistic religion and became a cult leader who offered salvation in their faith. Baltar's character evolved from an unwitting collaborator with the Cylons to a follower of their beliefs, eventually seeing himself as an instrument of God's will. Throughout the series, Gaius Baltar questioned religion and had visions of a Cylon known as Caprica 6, with whom he'd had a relationship. The mystery of why Baltar was the only one who could see Caprica 6 through these strange visions was later revealed to be a significant element in the Cylon plot. The unique communication between the two characters through visions added complexity to the show's secret identity theme, especially when Caprica 6 also began experiencing visions of Baltar. The nature of their relationship was hinted at, but never fully explained until the final episode of the series, leaving some elements open to interpretation and somewhat cryptic. Gaius Baltar and Caprica 6 have visions of each other because they are believed to be spiritual entities or messengers of God guiding the characters. This spiritual explanation reflects the show's roots in Mormonism. The angelic representations of Baltar and Caprica 6, known as Head Baltar and Head 6, draw parallels to heavenly figures from Mormonism, said to have appeared to Joseph Smith, the founder of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The true nature of these visions is gradually revealed throughout the series, with Baltar grappling with the presence of these visions. Head 6 admits to Gaius Baltar that she is a messenger from God, sent to help him. This revelation is confirmed at the end of the series, when Head Baltar and Head 6 are visible on Earth to each other 150,000 years after the remnants of humanity arrived on Earth, now in the modern era of the modern world, suggesting that they exist unseen by others and part of a higher power. The return of Captain Kara Thrace could also be explained in the same way, but Starbuck was something else, and her story arc is left open to interpretation by showrunner Ronald D. Moore. In the finale of Battlestar Galactica, viewers are left pondering the true significance of Kara Starbuck Thrace's resurrection and twist ending. The intricate storyline surrounding Starbuck in the final seasons exemplifies the depth of the show's religious and philosophical themes. In Season 3, Episode 17, Starbuck encounters a mysterious occurrence in the form of a storm while pursuing a Cylon vessel, which can only be seen by her, and enters the storm system, which looks remarkably like her drawings of the Eye of Jupiter mandala, and she experiences visions of the Cylon number 2 model Leobin, who leads her to confront her past and destiny. This culminates in a dramatic explosion of her Viper after she tells Apollo she'll see him on the other side. And then, 3 episodes later, Starbuck reappears with an intact Viper, claiming she has been to Earth and wants to guide the fleet there. Once Starbuck and the crew follow her Viper's signal to Earth, they are disheartened to find a nuclear war-ravaged planet, along with Starbuck's own destroyed Viper and her dead body already on the planet's surface. This sets a tone throughout the remainder of the season, where she defends her human identity while also questioning it. Starbuck, lost and struggling with her identity, uses a song taught to her by her father to reveal coordinates to guide the Galactica, the fleet, and the human Cylon models that sided with humanity during the Cylon Civil War to a second planet, our ancient Earth. In a final fierce battle with the Cylons, the Galactica is nearly destroyed as Starbuck plots a blind jump to light speed, using the musical notes of the song she was taught as coordinates to finally arrive at Earth. Well, a second Earth-like planet they just call Earth. As the Galactica emerges from Starbuck's blind jump to light speed, it's mangled and malfunctioning, with bulkheads creaking and bending as they arrive to our ancient Earth 150,000 years ago, and discovering tribal humans that already exist on the planet. After the arrival at Earth, Starbuck disappears in a mystical fashion after fulfilling her destiny, suggesting she was a divine being meant to guide humanity to safety. This ending to the series also set up the speculation that the human Cylon hybrid child, Hera Agathon, leans into the real-world scientific theory of mitochondrial Eve, the genetic mother of all humanity. The scientific community's description of mitochondrial Eve in the real world is the matrilineal, most recent common ancestor of all living humans. The resurrection of Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica connects to the series' themes of monotheism and polytheism, especially hinting at her being linked to Aurora, a lord of Kobol. By guiding Galactica and the fleet to Earth and fulfilling her destiny, Starbuck mirrors Aurora's role in the Lords of Kobol story and completes mankind's journey. The show's controversial ending includes extensive religious references, with some viewers criticizing the lack of human autonomy implying a higher powers plan. Creator Ronald D. Moore leaves the interpretation open to viewers on purpose. He'd state to discover that Kara is what you want her to be. It's easy to put the label on her of angel. She died and was resurrected and came back and took the people to find their final end. Moore and the creators of Battlestar Galactica intentionally left mystery surrounding Starbuck's resurrection and disappearance to maintain interest in the show. It remains unclear whether Starbuck was always an angel, only resurrected as one, or if the resurrected version of her was an angel with her likeness and memories. Despite the ambiguity, it is suggested that a higher power resurrected Kara Thrace was sent to fulfill the final purpose for mankind. The exact details of this event may never be known, adding to the show's intrigue and intelligence. I mean, here it is 20 years later, and fans are still asking what Starbuck really was. But what do you think? What do you think Starbuck really was? Let me know in the comments below. That would be interesting.
We would be honored if you would join us.
In 1978, a legal battle ensued between the influential science fiction franchises Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica. The dispute arose as Star Wars was quickly becoming a billion-dollar franchise, while Battlestar Galactica was less successful. The legal proceedings outlasted the TV show and the 1980 spin-off. The legal battle between Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica centered around plagiarism allegations and a dispute between George Lucas and a former employee, visual effects artist John Dykstra. The reality was that both franchises were found to have borrowed from classic sci-fi works, and this fact didn't escape the lawyers defending Battlestar Galactica, as the court case highlighted the influence of 1930s science fiction serials on both series, while also recognizing their contributions to pushing the genre forward. John Dykstra, a VFX artist who worked on both Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars, was initially recommended to George Lucas by Douglas Trumbull, known for his work on 2001: A Space Odyssey. However, Dykstra's strained working relationship with Lucas resulted in his departure from the first Star Wars film after principal filming. Subsequently, Dykstra went on to oversee the special effects for the original Battlestar Galactica series' full-length pilot. In June of 1978, 20th Century Fox filed a lawsuit against the creators of Battlestar Galactica, alleging plagiarism and copyright infringement of George Lucas's Star Wars. Despite claims by Glenn A. Larson that he had conceived Battlestar Galactica in the late 1960s under the title Adam's Ark, Fox's lawsuit cited 34 ideas purportedly stolen from Star Wars. Fox and George Lucas's lawsuit against Battlestar Galactica was supported by the resemblance of the show's technology to that of Star Wars, with both featuring used and old-looking vehicles such as Vipers versus X-Wings, compared to the stereotypical sleek and new appearance of space-age equipment. The involvement of John Dykstra and his team who had previously worked on Star Wars' design and effects, likely contributed to this similarity in creative vision between the two projects. I mean, it's not really surprising that the creative vision of the team was transferred over to their work on Battlestar Galactica. Universal argued in court that George Lucas's Star Wars had also borrowed science fiction ideas from their licensed work, such as Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon, which were serialized in the 1930s, and both highlighted that the central struggle of good versus evil in space, as depicted in Star Wars, was not unique and had been explored in other works as well. Attorneys for Universal presented a videotape montage of prior science fiction works to support this claim. Additionally, Universal pointed out similarities between Star Wars' R2-D2 and the friendly robot drone from Douglas Trumbull's film Silent Running. John Dykstra's work on Silent Running influenced Douglas Trumbull to suggest him for the special effects of Star Wars. Dykstra's vision tied him to both projects, leading to stylistic similarities between Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica. The court ruled that the similarities between the two were not plagiarism, stating they only shared a general level of intellectual abstraction. Despite this decision, 20th Century Fox appealed to the United States Court of Appeal for the Ninth Circuit, which sided with 20th Century Fox, acknowledging genuine concerns about the potential of copying of Star Wars' idea or expression. The Court of Appeals overturned the initial ruling and sent the 20th Century Fox George Lucas case back for trial in January of 1983. The legal battle, which concluded almost 3 years after the cancellation of Galactica 1980, eventually resulted in an out-of-court settlement. The settlement amount is still unknown today. The prolonged disputes raised questions about who was at fault, but the impact of the legal showdown solidified both Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica as significant works in science fiction history. Even after more than 45 years, both franchises remain hugely influential within science fiction. The Battlestar Galactica franchise has expanded beyond its original 1978 series to include Galactica 1980, the 2004 series, a prequel called Caprica, movies like Razor and The Plan, a web series called Blood and Chrome, and short webisodes. With a rich universe to delve into, the future direction of Battlestar Galactica remains open for more exploration and possibilities. So where does Battlestar Galactica go from here? Well, the latest installment of the Battlestar Galactica franchise is set to debut on NBC's streaming platform Peacock. The series is now being produced by Sam Esmail. I think I said that right, Esmail. He is the creator of the USA Network's Mr. Robot. And recent developments from January of 2024 have seen Derek Simons, known for his series The Sinner, joining as the new showrunner after the previous screenwriter Michael Leslie departed. Despite some setbacks, such as the Hollywood strikes of 2023, the production seems to be moving forward with the new creative team in place. Peacock's Battlestar Galactica is set to take place in the same continuity as the 2004 series. But at this point, it's not exactly clear when the new series would take place in that timeline. Very little has been confirmed about the Peacock Battlestar Galactica TV series since it was announced in September of 2019. So, for now, I guess we just sit back and wait and hope for the best. As a fan of the original Battlestar Galactica, I was extremely skeptical of the 2003 miniseries and the show, but I gave it a chance, and I was glad I did. Let's hope we can do that again. And there you have it, Cosmic Core. We hope you have enjoyed part 3 of our Battlestar Galactica Then and Now retrospective. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you have not seen parts 1 and 2, I have posted a link in the description below. And I would like to thank all of our subscribers and all of our viewers for your ongoing support of our channel. And if you enjoy the videos here, please remember to like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. It's one click for you, but it means the world to us. Remember, this channel belongs to all of us, and we hope you get as much enjoyment out of watching our videos as we have in making them. Have a great galactic day, Cosmic Core.